Okay, thank you, Tim. Could I invite up to the stage John from Timebanking UK, please?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to Community First for inviting me here today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about time banking and the various bits of work that we do around the UK. First of all, I wanted to say, perhaps we don't just stop and think about the impact that we do in our day-to-day work. And I think you should all think today and over the weekend about the contribution you make through the work that you do to your local communities. In whatever way, shape or form that you do that. 2022 was a hard year. I think we all know that 2023 may not be as easy, and therefore the resilience that you have built, I think you really need to consider that you've done an excellent job and will really continue to do so. What I wanted to say is a little bit about me first. So I'm lucky enough to travel up and down the country, and you are lucky enough locally to have the great Walmer Forest Time Bank on your doorstep, as well as now 4 time banks on the Isle of Wight. So you do have a local time bank to look at. The reason why I mentioned travel is that, yes, I do come from London, and when I was in an event in Manchester earlier in the month, I got a few boos for that. So I thought it was probably safe for me to say, okay, what are my Hampshire credentials? Well, I was born in Salisbury. My godparents live in Romsey. My dad got his teaching certificate at King Alfred's here in Winchester. And my grandmother, who is 100, who lives in Lymington, has just got her driving licence renewed for another 3 years. So good on her, but if you are in Lymington High Street on a Tuesday when she does her shopping, you might want to kind of watch where you tread. Sorry, Granny. So time banking, it's a form of volunteering. We can talk about, is it volunteering, is it micro-volunteering, what's it all about? But essentially, it is a method of changing or exchanging skills and time without the need to exchange money. And really the graphic there, I'm not going to go through everything that's on that graphic, really shows how there is a cycle. So if you walk somebody's dog for an hour, you earn 1 time credit. If you want to then take your time credit and earn or spend that credit rather on learning a foreign language from somebody else in the time bank, then you can do that. But essentially, it's about bringing communities together, and by that I mean, it could be a community. It's in 1 block of flats, 1 village, 1 hamlet. But it also is, like we have in Derbyshire, Warwickshire, Cambridgeshire, a network of time banks across the county. I think interesting what Tim was saying, just to reflect a moment on the types of time banks. Very often time banks are just brought together through geography. But increasingly with the cost of living crisis, we're seeing people coming together around food, around cultivation, about sharing produce, cooking together and sharing the cost of cooking that meal. We have time banks in housing associations, time banks for refugees and asylum seekers. We have time banks in prisons and young offenders institutions where prisoners bequeath their hours that they earn to the community time banks nearby, and all they ask in return is for a letter from the people that have used those hours as to how they've spent it. That improves their mental health, it improves their self-esteem, and actually helps them to get ready for release, probation, and the long path potentially to employment. So the thing I often say about time banking is the only thing that restricts what you want to do with time banking is your own creativity. And we would be happy to talk to any of you. We currently have somebody looking to set up a time bank in Eastleigh. And if anyone else in the room wishes to kind of explore it a bit more, you can speak to me or go to our website. So health and well-being is one of the main things that we do with time banking through the various kind of tasks that you see on the left-hand side. My background is 25 years of commissioning or frontline primary care in the NHS. I started doing social prescribing in 2011 with a healthy living programme where we wanted to confront the idea that everybody needs to have a prescription or medication to have better health and well-being. And through the marvellous work that you're doing locally with social prescribing, it's clear that this is something that the NHS has taken on, I would say somewhat belatedly, but at least it is actually doing more work in the communities around that. A few facts and figures. Time banking has been going in the UK for 23 years, although Time Banking UK has just celebrated its 20th anniversary. Some people say it's the UK's best kept secret. I think what the stats show there is that we have around 18,000 people every week exchanging their skills, their time. And it particularly appeals to excluded groups, as I was talking about earlier, in terms of the context in which it can be applied. But another local fact which is helpful is the two ladies on the left-hand side were, as it happened, the two ladies that celebrated our 6 millionth hour of exchange, and they come from the Woolmer Forest Time Bank. So they are a couple of local people. So what do Timebanking UK do? Well, we are a national membership organisation. We form time banks on the basis of co-production and co-design. So we provide a framework based upon the 20 years of experience that we have, but we don't tell communities what to do. They are best placed to determine the time bank they want to create and the focus that they want to have. We are the national voice of time banking. We are able to advise on insurance. We have a members area which has 20 years of policies, procedures, risk assessment forms. So we very seldom get a novel question. There's something that we can always help with. And what we really do is to learn from best practice and to share that. So at the moment we have around 150 time banks nationally. And I was just speaking to somebody earlier saying only this week we've opened a time bank in Lowestoft, Teesside, and also on the Isle of Man. So what we're seeing is, I think, that post-pandemic and cost of living crisis, that more and more communities are coming forward to say, how can we come together for more community cohesion, but how can we help one another without the need for money being the main basis of our interaction. So that's really what Timebanking UK does, what Timebanking is all about. By all means, speak to me afterwards if you're interested, but enjoy the rest of your day and thanks for your time.